Hi guys, I'm Stefan. Welcome back to another lesson in my Czerny's Opus 599 for solo learners course. In this video, we're going to learn number 65. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and if you like what you see, give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to join the entire Czerny course, you can do that on the link below, or if you'd like to get this very special edition of Czerny's Opus 599 specifically for solo learners, links to that will be down below too. Number 65 is a trill exercise for the right hand. It's a counted trill, not a free trill, so we can really keep it even and light. Trilling is very difficult, especially when we haven't done it a lot, and the biggest challenge is to keep a relaxed hand and an even sound. This exercise is really good for trilling because it works not on just 2 finger combinations, but all 5 finger combinations, so trilling on finger 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 as well. The biggest problem that can happen when we trill is that it becomes really uneven, and then we really start to push the hand into all kinds of directions, tense up the wrist and really try to force the hand to move quickly. And the more we do that, the less it's going to move quickly and the more tired it's going to get. So the key thing in this piece is to learn how to relax the hand, how to learn rotational movement when we play the trills, and how to keep that articulation nice and clean. We're going to start with the left hand because it's super easy. It's just basically a chordal accompaniment. We're in the key of D major, so every F and every C is going to be a sharp. It says allegro fast, and we're in 3/4, so 3 quarter note beats in every bar. The left hand starts in this D major position, and we're going to hold the bottom note in every bar and play the top 2 notes of the chord staccato. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then an A major chord, C sharp, E, A, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, back to D major, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and A7, A, C sharp, G, 1, 2, 3, D major. And then going on from the repeat sign, we have an inverted chord, so F sharp, A, D, 1, 2, 3, A major inverted, E, A, C sharp, 1, 2, 3, D major, 1, 2, 3, F sharp major inverted, 1, 2, 3, B minor, 1, 2, 3, G major, and then A, D major in second inversion, A major 7 and D major. So key thing again is to not push too hard onto the first note in each bar. Just rest the hand on that note and play the upper 2 notes very accurately staccato. But remember, we're in 3/4, so the first beat is always stronger and the second third is lighter. So strong, light, light, strong, light, light, strong, light, light. So keeping that lightness for the second and third beats, not pushing those staccatos. The right hand has the trill, so there's not much going on, only 2 bars which have a different pattern. The rest is just alternating between 2 notes. So what is a trill? A trill is basically an alternation between 2 adjacent notes. It could be a semitone or it could be a full tone or whole note. It doesn't matter what it is as long as you keep alternating back and forth between those 2 notes, and it's a very common ornament in piano playing, especially classical piano. So we've got 3 groups in each bar, as you can see. For each beat, we're going to play 4 notes. So 1, 2, 3. 3 times 4 notes, and it's up and down all the way through. And just remember to think of your beats because it's very easy to get lost in trills. So 1, 2, 3. Feeling that pulse all the way through. Now, what we want to do first is to get the hand onto the piano, making sure the wrist is feeling very relaxed. I can do these circles with my hands, and I'm going to put my hand onto this D major position. So 1 on the D, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I'm going to stay here for the trills. And the first trill is going to be between fingers 1 and 2. So I want to kind of round the fingers so I can play the second finger with the fingertip and start going back and forth. Now the important thing here is when you do it very slowly, first of all do it evenly, so every note is the same length and it's legato. And I'm doing a little bit of rotation in my wrist, so back and forth, because that's going to really help me when I go quicker. The back and forth, almost like rocking motion or trying to turn a doorknob. Now I'm exaggerating that motion, but that's what you need on a smaller scale. Do not play it with a stiff wrist and trying to play it from the fingers. It's not going to work and it's going to get very tired. So as long as the wrist is feeling nice and relaxed, you can try to play it faster and faster each time, but start really slowly just to feel that motion. So the first bar is 1 and 2, and then the second bar is 3 and 4. Again, same kind of moving in and out. I'm exaggerating this motion so you can see it, but I'm moving in and out from that F sharp G. And then in the third bar, I've got number 2 and 4. Again, see, I'm doing a little bit of a rocking motion, so my hand is going up and down so I can accommodate the difference between the height of the two notes and the movement back and forth, almost like a seesaw motion between the two notes. And then in bar 4 I've got G and A, so the two weak fingers 4 and 5. Again, I'm leaning towards finger 5 here, and then in the next bar I've got again 3, 4, and then we have a little scale 5, 1, 1, and then I've got E coming back from the A and a little broken chord finishing in D major, and that's the right hand. So nothing really difficult about the notes, but getting the evenness and feeling of freedom, the soft wrist, is the hardest thing to achieve, especially when you start going quicker and quicker. Let's put this together. So left hand is counting for us. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and now the A7. Be careful, there's an octave higher sign there for the final 2.5 bars. Another problem that can happen is that I hesitate between the bars. So I start, we want to avoid that completely right from the start. So play slow enough so that you can anticipate the change of the chord in the left hand and the change of the pattern in the right hand. So really important when you get to the end of the first bar, that I can carry on to the next bar. The second section, the right hand is going to start number 3 on the B, so we're going down this time, 2, 3, and then 1 on the G, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do a little crossing, 1, and then 4 and 3, number 2 on the E, and going down, crossing over number 3 onto the C sharp, and up on an A scale, and finishing again on a lovely broken chord. So what you noticed here is that sometimes the trilling is going down and up, and sometimes it goes up and down, so the direction of the trill changes every second bar, which again can cause a little bit of confusion and hesitation between the bars, but make sure you play it slow enough so that you can prepare yourself for that. Hands together, starting with this first inversion D major chord, 3 on the B, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and now the scale. And finishing on the D major chord. Now when I say start slowly, I mean really slow. So you could start at this speed and then eventually go faster and faster. The quicker you go, the lighter the hand needs to feel, and don't do any dancing on the keys, something like this, where the fingers are flying all the way into the air. The faster you go, the smaller the motion has to be, and your fingers are going to stay very close to the keys. So staying very close to the keys with the fingertips so we don't lose energy and time going away and coming back to the keys. Well, I hope this helped, and please be very careful not to build up any tension. If you do feel tension or tiredness in the hand, stop immediately and try to see where that is coming from, how can you fix it, and then carry on. There's no point to play this exercise if it's not even, or if you're getting very tired in the hands. It's never going to go fast, and it's going to cause you frustration and a very slow progress, or even going backwards in your journey with this piece.